New video shows people narrowly avoid the driver in the New Orleans attack as he plowed down Bourbon Street. Good evening. I'm Christine Johnson. Take a look here at this picture of Bourbon Street. The site of the unimaginable violence is back open to the public a day later. Some of those crowds likely came from the Superdome, where the rescheduled Sugar Bowl was played earlier tonight, and security was tight. The FBI now says the driver who killed 14 people New Year's Day acted alone. And they also released images of him just an hour before the attack. One of the pictures shows a cooler with an explosive that they say he placed near the scene. Our team coverage tonight begins with Dick Brennan. Dick?
Well, Christine, we're getting a clearer picture of the man behind the attack. FBI officials say 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar placed two improvised explosive devices in coolers in the French Quarter after midnight the morning of the attack. Then just after 3 a.m., he posted a final online video proclaiming support for ISIS just minutes before he plowed into the crowd. This video shows the moment some people dodged Shamsuddin Jabbar's truck as he barreled down Bourbon Street.
I need EMS to get down Bourbon now. We have dozens of people that got hit by this car.
He crashed shortly afterwards and then opened fire before being killed in a gunfight with police.
I think I got hit and my body was just thrown onto the ground. Jeremy Selensky was struck as he sat in his wheelchair. I was screaming, help, 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 help. And finally a guy came over and said, listen, you're lucky to be alive. He said many people aren't as lucky as you.
Authorities say Jabbar was a decorated Army veteran who pledged his allegiance to ISIS before last summer. But his brother says he did not notice any major changes in Jabbar's behavior.
He grew out his beard and he became more modest in his dressing. Nobody's seen anything like this coming.
In recent years, Jabbar had worked in real estate and is a former employee of the consulting firm Deloitte. He'd been married and divorced 3 times, and one of his previous wives had a temporary restraining order against him.
He originally planned to harm his family and friends, but was concerned the news headlines would not focus on the, quote, war between the believers and the disbelievers.
Tonight, Bourbon Street is reopened, this time with temporary barriers.
It takes you back, it makes you flip again through all these crazy moments.
Aristide Melisas understands the trauma in New Orleans because he faced it in New York. He was struck by a terrorist in a truck plowing down the West Side bike path in 2017.
You just hope that once and for all, we're going to a certain stability in the world. And unfortunately, it seems it's not really the case.
My heart goes out to everyone that's involved or has been impacted.
Rachel Farn was also hit on the West Side bike path. She has a message for the victims and families in New Orleans.
There's nothing that can take away the pain that you're experiencing. Nothing that can make this feel better or right at this time, but you're also not alone.
And tonight we're learning more about the victims. Officials have not yet officially released the names of the 14 people killed, but loved ones have started sharing their stories. We now know at least 3 people from our area are among those who died. Alecia Reid has more now from friends and family who are trying to make sense of this tragedy.
Family of 25-year-old Long Island native Matthew Tenedorio confirms he died from a gunshot wound. His parents say once the attacker started shooting, Matthew and his friends got pushed in different directions.
They kept calling him, no response. We kept calling, no response.
The Mineola native, who moved to New Orleans at 5 years old, is being remembered for his laugh and sense of humor. Loved ones say the sudden loss is also real.
Our gift from God. That's what his name means. Gift from God. He was my miracle baby.
Former Princeton University star football player Tiger Besh was also killed. The 27-year-old All-Ivy League kick returner and receiver played with the Tigers from 2016 to 2018, graduated with a finance degree, and was a trader at Seaport Global in Manhattan.
Truthfully, there's nobody who had more humility dedication. He was really a special human being, and we really are mourning his loss.
Besh was with his close friend Ryan Quigley, another Princeton grad. Quigley remains hospitalized and is expected to recover. A neighbor says he's traumatized.
Just again, emotionally drained from what happened to his friend, his best friend, Tiger.
Tiger was a full of life kind of spark plug.
A third New Jersey victim has been identified as Billy DeMeo. The 25-year-old lived in Holmdel, Monmouth County. A former college roommate and lacrosse teammate at Chestnut Hill College remembers DeMeo as a leader on and off the field. The last time their friend group heard from him was a day before the attack, when he let them know he was in New Orleans to celebrate the new year. On New Year's Day, no one could get in touch with him.
DeMeo's family says his energetic personality inspired everyone around him, and the family is now heartbroken. As they and some of the other families start to plan funerals for their loved ones, there's still so many unanswered questions. Alecia, Reid, CBS News, New York.
In memory of the victims, a moment of silence was held at the Superdome tonight, less than a mile from the site of the attack. And after the Sugar Bowl, many fans headed to Bourbon Street. Omar Villafranca was there earlier tonight as bars and restaurants reopened in a show of strength and resilience.
Less than 48 hours after a horrific terrorist attack that killed 14 people here in the French Quarter, world-famous Bourbon Street is now back open for business. Now, it looks like Bourbon Street, and it's starting to sound like Bourbon Street, and slowly it's starting to feel like it, but there are some modifications to this world-famous party area. Now, behind me, there were some barriers installed in the road to keep a car from coming down the street. They also put some barriers on the sidewalk so a car couldn't go around those barriers, trying to make this area car-free. Another thing that we did notice is that there is a very heavy police presence, and we're talking New Orleans Police Department officers, Louisiana State Troopers, FBI agents, and Homeland Security officers, all of them in uniform, walking around, letting people know that they are keeping an eye on this area and this area is safe. One of the big reasons, less than a mile away, Notre Dame fans and Georgia fans are cheering in the Superdome for the Sugar Bowl. And they want those fans and the rest of the country and the world, really, to let them know that Bourbon Street and New Orleans is back open for business. Christine?
And as we learn more about the victims in the New Orleans terror attack and the investigation, we will post those updates on our website, cbsnewyork.com.